morning and welcome to my garden. I'm Mary, and can you guess where I was for a week in June? Because I went to Florida for a week early in June, I was a little bit delayed in planting my pots. And of course, if you've been watching some of my other videos, you know that we had very late snowfalls here in Colorado. But my garden is finally starting to come to life, and I thought I would share some parts of it with you. Now, I did go around and try to photograph some areas while they were in full bloom to catch those for you, and I'll be showing little snippets of that, and then some areas of my garden. I don't have everything put together quite yet, but I will show you some parts that I think look very nice right now. Let's take a look at my Miss Kim dwarf Korean lilac. Now, I find that this type of lilac bush works better in my altitude because it is a much later spring bloomer, so I'm much less likely to have the blooms, or excuse me, the buds frozen off in a late freeze or snow. And it is just delightful. Look how prolific the blooms are this year. Of course, all of the moisture we've gotten has really helped it to bloom just really, really well. Here's another snippet of an area of my garden, and I'll give you some close-ups of some of these plants in a bit. Over here, my ice plant with these yellow blooms. The blooms haven't opened up yet this morning because they do open in the sunlight, and this whole area is a carpet of yellow. And then coming up over here, we have a little view. You can see that my basket of gold is done blooming now. And we can't leave this video without a look at this creeping Veronica. Isn't it just simply gorgeous? It is the prettiest tiny little ground cover. Isn't it just, oh, I just love it every spring when it blooms. So pretty here. Let's begin with this Mount Atlas daisy. It is a very tiny plant, and as you can see, it's an earlier spring bloomer and does so well between your flagstones or in a rock garden. Aren't those cute little daisies? Now I'm going to swing around to this other garden here. This is really a shade garden, although my autumn purple ash tree isn't fully leafed out yet. But this Jacob's ladder, oh my goodness, look at it. It's just lush this year. Hope to have some really pretty purple flowers on it soon. And over here I have a tiny little hosta just peeking through. And then as we come over to this side of the garden, my Johnson's Blue perennial geraniums are coming up, but not blooming quite yet. But over here I have this Pulmonaria. The type is called Cotton Cool, and look at those lovely purple flowers. And I really like the leaves because they are not as spotted as a typical Pulmonaria would be. And then here you can see my Solomon seal, and I purchased the variegated Solomon seal, so it has a little white on the tips of the leaves. And then you can also see the blooms coming. Aren't they darling? I started with just 3 tiny plants 2 years ago, and it has spread. Of course, I'm hoping it'll spread even more and fill in this area completely under my tree. But I do have a larger patch now which makes me so happy. And then over here, I have a Jack Frost Brunnera, which will have some pretty blue flowers on it, I hope soon. Isn't that a pretty little plant? I'm in the bright sunlight right here, but you can see my yarrow is just coming along quite well and has lots of buds on it. Let's see if I can come in closer for you to have a look at some of those buds. Here you can see my variegated Karl Forster feather reed grass, which is just a lovely grass. This variegation is amazing. And then, oh my goodness, I am so excited to have the first bloom on my Clematis. I forgot the variety of this one. I planted it quite a while ago, and it does grow with a shorter length of vine. So I planted it on this smaller trellis here, and I'm so excited to see that beautiful bloom. And more to come, hopefully. And then here is my Sarah Bernhardt peony, which gets large pink blooms. And look at these buds that I've got on this plant. I cannot wait to come back and show you them when they're in full bloom. So exciting. And then over here I wanted to share with you these just darling little blue flowers that grow on my Jack Frost Brunnera. It is just so cute, these blooms. They look a lot like forget-me-not flowers and bloom in the early spring, as you can see. What is early spring for us here in Colorado anyway. And then the rest of the summer you have this lovely foliage. It's so pretty. And then over here I have another Pulmonaria, and it looks, I have forgotten the variety here, but it looks like it's going to be having just pink blooms. You can see some right there, but many are just waiting to open. Here is a lovely yellow iris that is blooming. You can see it was damaged by our snowfall, but it's still blooming. Isn't that nice? And then I'm going to swing around over here to have a look at my Bachelor Buttons. They are just darling. I love this flower. It's such an unusually shaped flower, isn't it? So pretty. And then lastly today, here is my Joe Pye Weed just beginning to grow. Look how small it is right now. And it will grow all the way up to the top and over the height of my fence before the end of summer, with beautiful pink blooms that we'll see later in another video. And then if I swing around this way, I'm going to give you a look at my really gorgeous irises this season. They're looking so pretty. I love, 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 love this purple and white one. It really is my favorite of all irises. And if we come around over here, you can see that my variegated red twig dogwood has leafed out with its beautiful foliage. I just love this plant. It makes me so happy. All right, so I'm back, and I hope you enjoyed a quick look at my garden and what is blooming right now and some of the areas that I particularly enjoy. And we'll be back for more later. Hope to see you again very, very soon.